Hi, everybody. This is Marlon. You're listening to the Ashita No Anime podcast, and today I'm joined by a friend of mine from college, Ian. Say hi, Ian.
Hey everybody, how's it going?
That's going all right. It's going all right for me too. So today we're not going to be talking about any specific series. It's almost too late to talk about this at this point because the new winter season is going to be starting soon. But Ian and I wanted to do a little discussion about the current fall season as it's wrapping up here. This could almost be like a little send off of the season, right? Just almost what we thought of the season, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, where do you want to start, Ian?
How about I get your opinions on the best and worst of fall 2012?
Oh boy. Let's see. Well, let's start with best. It's always good to start off with something positive.
Yeah.
Let's see. My current favorite right now is easily Psycho Pass. It's just got some terrific themes going on there as far as it's got some really psychological stuff going on, some real issues of morality, the discrepancy between utopian and dystopian societies and how close they can be, the concept of morality being judged by a computer system rather than by humans. It's got a lot of really good themes going on there. And it's also just cyberpunk. I've talked about this at length with Brian already. And cyberpunk is such a rare genre that any time it comes up, it's going to be catching my eye.
Yeah. I haven't done a chance to watch Psycho Pass yet. I watched the first episode, but it's still on my list of things to watch.
All right. What about you? What's your number one this season that you've been watching?
It definitely have to be Sakura So. Sakura So no Pet Nakanojo.
The pet girl of Sakura House.
Yep. It's got I think it's got some really interesting themes going on so far. It's only half over right now, so it's going to continue on into the winter season.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's really well done.
Definitely. I think that in a lot of ways it handles its romance not quite as good as it probably should. It falls into a lot of the stereotypical trappings of a lot of high school romance comedies that you see in anime. Like the main character is a little shy and he's not very confident around women to some extent. It's not Love Hina Keitaro bad level of badness, but it does have some trappings where he definitely overreacts to the presence of women in a couple of instances, and that kind of takes me out of it on a couple of occasions. But at the same time, I think it's very it does manage to be very heartwarming. It's very encouraging.
I actually don't think it's a matter of him being bad with girls. It's more a matter of where he lives. Like, some of the people he lives with, basically. Like, the main female lead, Mishiro, is basically a god of the art world. And the other girl, Kagusa, is already has animes being produced, and Jin is her writer. Whereas the character that they just introduced not too long ago, Rinosuke, is a very accomplished computer programmer. I think it's more he feels like he's normal compared to them. So it's more of a feeling of inferiority towards basically people who know what they're doing.
Well, I mean, I'm talking about the scenes where he has to confront the girls in their enthusiasm, I should say. And he reacts, and I think in a very immature manner, and it's typical of these kinds of high school romance anime. That's all I was saying. I definitely think that I see where you're coming from as well, but
yeah, it's kind of something used to set the pace, basically. That anime used to set the pace, because if he was like responsive immediately, then it'd get into the much harder aspect of trying to write a relationship in an anime.
I disagree with that because let's talk about the next anime that I think this is probably my number. I would say it used to be my number two anime this season, but the ending let me down. I'd say the Sakura So is my number two anime this season now. Now that I think about it, I may revise that during the course of our conversation when I remember something else. But I'm just going to go ahead and say Sakura So is my number two. My number three would probably be Chunibyo. Chunibyo Demo Koi ga Shitai. Despite my childhood delusions of grandeur, I want to pursue love. Grandiose title. That handles its high school romance comedy in a much more mature manner. The main character, Yuta, does not overreact to the presence of women. When he gets confronted by them, he doesn't freak out. I think that it's possible to write a romance anime where the main character has a healthy relationship with women. And it doesn't have to be romantic. It can just be as friends. And I think that Chunibyo is a shining gem example that you don't have to have this Keitaro awkward around women lead male character.
Yeah, that's true.
Have you been
I also
watching
like
Chunibyo?
how Chu2 handled its romantic subplots. It was really interesting to see, actually. Now that I think about it, Chuni is probably my number three as well for this season.
You see, everyone, I don't disagree with everybody in the world on how anime should be ranked.
But I know something you will disagree with me on.
Okay.
My number two is still Sword Art Online.
Yeah. Yeah, Sword Art Online really let me down this season. I don't hate it, but I think that it has become what do I want to say?
It's basically fan service for people who read the novels.
Yeah, I can definitely see that, and that you make. If you're willing to admit that, then I can kind of let it go on that point and just say, okay, I didn't read the novels. I'm not getting you're not getting the full experience or something. But at the same time, I think that anime should also be able to stand up on their own merits for people who did not read the novels, like me. And to that extent, I think that. It really overplays the kind of person that Kirito is around women. I think that women are far too easily attracted to him in that series. It really takes me out of it. And it's not a harem series. If it was a harem series, it would feel better. It would feel right to have all these women swooning over him. But he's always just pursuing Asuna, and that's good. It's good to have that kind of focus for the main character, to have just that one love interest that he's pursuing all the time, and it's not all scattered around and busy. But at the same time, that really took me out of it, having all these women constantly swooning over him. And the other side of it that really took me out of it is the conflict never really gets. It's never a really well written conflict. I really thought that the series would have been a lot better if they just never did Elfheim Online, and then it was just Sword Art Online the whole time, and the plot was just Kazuto getting through the whole dungeon and meeting Kayaba Akihiko, and that would have been the whole series, and they get out, and it would have been a triumph. And then they do this whole Elfheim Online spiel there. Kirito is like breaking the system, and it's all just this convoluted, like, God mode computers and experimenting on people's minds that doesn't really go anywhere, and I really got bored with it.
Yeah, I can see what you're saying. I'm not going to take time to defend it or anything. I mean, I like it so much because I did read the novels, and it was cool to see it animated. But there were certain points where, like, oh, they left that out? Or, oh, they changed that? And it's like, Yeah, I mean they have an explanation behind why or how at the end he got the mod powers or how he broke the system, but they didn't really explain it too well in the anime, which I can see. I can see people complaining about that, and it's a very justifiable complaint. But I do enjoy the series, and I
I
thought
enjoyed it too. I'm not going to say that it was bad. I'd say it's somewhere in my top 10 for this
yeah,
season. Let me just say that. I didn't hate it,
yeah.
but in the big scheme of things, I definitely thought that Excel World was much better than Sword Art Online. I thought it was much better written, much better paced, much
Well,
better character designs.
Excel World was the thing that the author did after he did Sword Art Online.
I
So
know,
Sword Art
yeah.
Online,
So I'm comparing it because I know they're written by the same author, so and they
yeah.
have very similar themes.
And Sword
Uh,
Art Online was the first the first novel for Sword Art Online, I believe, came out when the author was, or was written when the author was 15.
okay,
So,
that's pretty good. It's impressive for sure.
yeah.
Let's see what else is going on this season. Oh, Batum. Batum. Yeah, I have to say
What?
Batum is going to be my number 4 for this season.
Dark Horse?
Batum really has. There's been this like every other season for like the past 2 years now. There have been a survival horror anime or some kind of like survival themed anime to where they're put in some kind of lockdown situation where they have to kill off the other members. Was it Dead Man Wonderland was an example. Another example was Future Diary. Another was another. Another was a good example of this genre as well. And Batum, I think, out of all of these, is doing it right because they have, for one, they're not really censoring too much. Which here's the thing: either you this is my thing about censorship. Either just don't show it, or don't show
Or
censored
don't.
scenes. Just write the anime in such a way where you don't have to see those scenes at all, where the
Yeah,
camera
basically
doesn't look in that direction, or don't put the black filters over it to censor out the blood and the explosion and stuff, because that just
yeah.
looks bad. It looks bad from a visual standpoint.
It does, and it definitely takes you out of it. I
Yeah,
mean,
and I think that Batum also has it does the romantic side of its story correctly. It's got a really interesting and compelling reason as to why these people are on this island doing this fight. There's
yeah.
a realistic level of confusion over the whole thing as they're all getting acquainted with it, and that's good writing to get the viewers up to speed with it as well. I think that is just very well paced. I'm a
I also
little.
enjoyed.
Go ahead. Have you been
I also
watching?
enjoyed. I also enjoyed Batum. It was actually my number 4 as well.
Well, there you go.
I think the pacing is very well done. The romantic side, as you mentioned, is very well fleshed out, very well paced for what it is so far. Um, and the awkwardness of getting used to the system is very believable. So it definitely drags you in that aspect. And I think the use of basically, I think a MMO where it's basically a first-person shooter, but instead of guns you use bombs is a really interesting concept actually, because it adds a
Yeah.
whole other tactical element to it.
I don't think it would ever catch on in reality, but at the same time, I agree. It was an interesting spin on the concept.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Um,
about what about your worst now?
oh,
Now that
worst.
we have before.
I'm a bad judge of worst. There's all kinds of like I say I'm talking about my favorite anime of this season so far. But if I was gonna like talk about best or like I watch a lot of stuff that Adam Savage talks about. And Adam Savage isn't just a MythBuster; he's also kind of what do you call me? He's almost like a philosopher among popular culture. And one of the
Yeah.
things that he has said that I love is everybody has 30 titles in their top 10 movie list because there's you like different things for different reasons and you categorize them in different ways. So do we want to talk about the worst anime this season, that my least favorite anime this season that I'm actually still watching, or do we want to talk about what I think is the worst anime this season?
Probably the worst that you'd never watch, like that you just saw and said, no.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure.
Interesting.
Yeah, what was it? Have had a couple of different separate conversations with Eric on this. Not the Eric you know, different Eric. But Eric who
Yeah.
happened to be my roommate. I don't know if you've been listening to my podcast or not. Have you?
I've caught one or two.
Okay, cool. But he and a lot of other people, some of my friends over here in Japan, also have are just loving JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I watched the whole first episode because I want to be the anime critic who goes into who will watch everything with a clear conscience. He's not prejudging anything. Give everything a chance to impress me. Show me what you got. And other people, a lot of my other friends seem to just be loving JoJo's. I asked them to explain to me why they like JoJo's because I don't get it. And they say, "Oh, Alex, if you don't get it, then I can't explain it to you." And it's just like, that's not a good reason to like an anime. So I watched the whole first episode of JoJo's, and I'm like, this is garbage. It's just badly written, badly paced. Like the amount of content in the first episode alone, I thought was enough content for like 7 episodes. So it's way too fast. Normally I'm complaining about anime being too slow, and it's like, come on, pick up the pace, go, 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 go. This is like, slow down with JoJo's. It's absolutely childish. It has like some romantic trappings that are Dio is stealing JoJo's girlfriend and is like, where did this girlfriend come from? And then JoJo is this little weakling at the beginning of the first episode who can't possibly fend off the little villagers that his father is in charge of this particular manor, and then like halfway through the episode he's this like star of the boxing ring and like the strongest guy in town. I'm like, what happened? And then all of a sudden Dio punches his lights out in one go, and I'm like, this sucks, this is awful. And then people keep telling me, no Alex, you got to keep watching it, it's awesome, it gets better. I'm like, all right, I will give it one more chance because everybody is talking good stuff about it. So I went and watched episode 10 because everybody said that episode 10 is where things really get awesome. And it's just like, this is even stupider. Like they got these vampires with eye lasers, and JoJo's grandson is like fighting the vampire by creating like shadow clones in mirrors so that the vampire fires his eye lasers at the mirror instead of JoJo's grandson. And he's making all these stupid little cliched predictions like, the next thing you're going to say is, I don't believe it. And then the vampire says, I don't believe it. And it's like, who thinks this is good? This is awful. Like, Pokemon is better than this. I actually watched an episode of Pokemon like 6 months ago just to see what was going on, and it's just like, okay, yeah, this is a pretty good little children's anime. I can understand that, why it's still going strong right now. Pokemon is easily much, much better than JoJo's. I don't get it. I just cannot understand why anybody would like JoJo's at all. If I was...
I can probably explain that.
Okay, go on. Try me.
The thing with JoJo's is, it's basically the same thing with Sword Art Online. JoJo's what has been an anime. This is basically a remake of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, because JoJo's Bizarre Adventure was an anime manga way back when.
Yeah.
And this is the updated re-release. So, again, it's basically fan service for people who will watch the original series and go, oh, updated graphics and everything. Sweet. Now I can see my favorite characters.
You're saying it's all nostalgia.
Basically, yeah. Hate to say it, but JoJo's is running on nostalgia. I mean,
well, those people must have some pretty darn thick Coke bottle thick nostalgia glasses on, because I can get nostalgic about certain things too, but even I know when things start to get bad. Like, I get nostalgic about Escaflowne or Evangelion and stuff like that, but I know that those are not. They have their problems, and I can admit to that. To say that JoJo's is awesome is baffling.
The best way to describe the problem you're having with JoJo's is it's like watching a movie of an anime series without watching the series itself. So it's kind of like you don't know anything about the Fatal Fury series or anything. Then you go, oh hey, the Fatal Fury movie, this looks cool. And then they just pop in with the characters and they don't introduce them or anything. It's like, who are you people? What's going on? What the, and I'm lost.
Yeah.
So it's basically like that.
Okay, even to that extent, I still can't give JoJo's a free pass, because I recently went and watched the Madoka movies over here in Japan, and I love Madoka. Madoka is one of I would say it's one of the best anime that's come out in the past few years, and I watched the movies, I liked the movies, but I understood that the series was better because the movies were a summary of the series. So
it was basically a condensation.
Yes, it was a condensed version. So to that extent, I suspected this was the reason that people were liking JoJo's, but I can't give it a free pass for that either. I still say 1 out of 10. If I was being a jerk, and I just as a critic, I have decided I will rank lowest 1, highest 10. If I was to rank JoJo's and I was being more immature and defying my own system, I would give it a -2.
Okay.
I think it's that bad.
All right.
What's your worst anime this season?
It's a tough one, actually. Because there are a few that I really have no interest in, or really.
Here's something
probably
for me is I don't watch anime if I know that going into them they're going to be like little kids anime. To some extent, like I said, I will pop in and see what Pokemon's doing every once in a while, but I don't pursue Pokemon as an anime to follow. And every season has its little kids anime that I just like, okay, that's not for me. I'm not going to even look at that, because let's focus on something that, like, I thought maybe because JoJo's has a big following, I'm surprised occasionally by anime that I look at it and the visual design, I look at the story, the summary of the story, I'm like, I probably won't like this, but it has a big following. I'll give it a chance. Was there anything like that you looked at this season? Like, you thought you might like it, but then you just thought, oh, this is absolute trash. Was there anything like that this season for you?
I wouldn't call it absolute trash, but my biggest one of the season was actually Little Busters.
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yeah. I liked the visual novel. I played the visual novel, and I liked it. And then I watched the anime, I was just like, no, this isn't grabbing me at all. I don't know why. It's just, it didn't grab me at all.
Yeah, I have to say Little Busters is actually next on my list of favorite anime. What are we at, like 4 or 5 now?
We're at 5.
Yeah,
I really thought I was gonna like it, and I watched the first few episodes, and it's like, I just can't get into it for some reason.
Hmm.
I don't know if it's because I already played the visual novel and I know what's going to happen, but it just doesn't grab me.
That could be. It's one of the reasons that I don't I don't like to read manga of upcoming anime because
Yeah.
was it was it 2 seasons ago? I think it was 2 seasons ago. Uh, Sankareya came out, and I watched like the first three or so episodes of Sankareya, and I'm like, I love this anime. This is so awesome. This is a
Yeah.
great concept on the zombie anime. So I went and read the manga, and I liked the manga. It was good. It was a good story, and I continued watching the anime, and my love of the anime just went because I knew everything that was going to happen. It was just such a verbatim transfer of the story from the manga that I was spoiled. I spoiled myself. And so
Yeah.
I kind of ruined Sankareya for myself, which is why I don't read that much manga anymore. I will read the manga of anime that I liked, but from now on, I don't read manga that are going to get turned into anime anymore. Maybe, so I could see, yeah, maybe that's the reason why, where you just knew everything that was going to happen? Is that why you didn't like Little Busters? There was no surprise in it for you?
I don't think it was just that. It's just that the characters, I don't know, the anime just didn't grab me at all.
Hmm.
It's just, the music is out of the game, the characters, well, I suppose it's supposed to be an animated adaptation of the visual novel, so I should have been expecting it, but I don't know, I
Um,
just couldn't get into it.
the visual novel was the main character voiced?
I, yeah, I think it was.
Really? Oh, I can't remember.
Oh, the main character? No, he wasn't voiced.
Okay, yeah, the main character was. I didn't think so. Ricky is portrayed by one of my favorite voice actresses, Yui Horie. So I like hearing her version of Ricky in Little Busters. So I have not played the visual novel of Little Busters, but I am a big Key fan. Was it I
I,
absolutely loved Angel Beats, and Little Busters reminds me of a much more light-hearted version of Angel Beats. And I found myself liking a lot of the quirky character designs in Little Busters. So that's what's really sucking me in right now. I'm actually kind of finding myself identifying very strongly with Nishizono right now because she's this quiet person who enjoys solitude, likes reading books, is kind of awkward around other people in crowds. I identify with her very closely because she reminds me of me a lot.
yeah. I also enjoy Key stuff. Actually, one of my favorite visual novels of all time is still Canon.
Oh,
Because Canon's just great.
yeah, Kanon is still one of my favorite anime of all time.
Yeah. The first one or 2006?
2006, obviously,
Yeah.
of course.
There we go. Yeah. Very well done.
Let's see, what else
All right.
is going on this season?
Why don't we talk about the upcoming season for a bit?
Oh, I got at least two more that I want to. No, can I talk about three more real quick?
Oh yeah, sure.
All right. Um, let's see. The next one that I'm really liking is Shinsekai Yori, from Tales from the New World. Have you been watching that at all?
I caught the first few episodes. It was
Yeah.
alright.
I thought that it's going to continue into the next season, I believe. But the first season kind of had a slow point in the middle, but now it's really starting to pick up. It's got it it's almost post-apocalyptic in a way. It's got some scientific trappings of like limits of the human mind, psychology. There's a conspiracy theory going on. Oh, not a conspiracy theory. There is a conspiracy going on, and the main character Saki um, is currently wrapped up in it right now, and I I will be happy, I think, no matter where the story goes, because the Saki as a character is just very likable. A lot of the characters are very likable and relatable. And I find myself cheering for her just no matter where she decides to take the story and what she decides to do given the circumstances is I find that to be very interesting. And it's also just I think the setting is very well written as well because you expect the characters to do certain things just because of how physics work, how, our own trappings of how the world should work. But because all of the characters in this series are psychics and they have telekinetic powers, spins the setting in a certain way where almost every episode the characters do something that you don't really expect because it's not physically possible in our world. It's just like, wow, that's a really creative way of doing that. I never thought that you could do something like that way. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So that's one of the reasons I like Shinsekai Yori. Let's see what else. Zetsuen no Tempest. That's also doing good right now. Have you been watching Zetsuen?
Tempest is great. I'll admit that.
It's Bones, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. But that's just it's got great pacing with the action. It has a lot of similarities to. No, I shouldn't say that it has similarities to Shinsekai Yori because Shinsekai Yori is about a conspiracy, but Zetsuen no Tempest is about destiny and what do you want to say? Fate. In a certain way.
That's
like
right.
Whether we have free will or fate, and how do we judge that? You got the higher power, which is the world tree, and you got what's her name? Hakase, which is the arbiter of the world tree, so to say, and it's just got a lot of different really cool stuff going on. I absolutely love Yoshino. His character is just written so smartly. You can really a lot of characters I find in certain anime, like Ungo, when you write a smart character and he's just too smart, it makes the audience feel dumb. And I don't like feeling dumb. But Yoshino feels it written smartly in a way that kind of like reveals things that he's insightful. And I really like that about his character. What do you like about Zetsuen so far?
The music, actually.
Yes, great opening and ending themes.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite part of it right now. I mean, don't get me wrong, the story's really good and everything. I do enjoy the main character a lot, but you just can't beat that opening and ending.
Yeah, I have to say that sometimes just a good opening and ending theme really sell the series. I've had a lot of instances like that before, where I would just watch a series for the opening and ending, and the middle content was just kind of like, yeah, whatever. I was kind of like that when I watched Joshiraku.
Actually, that's always been one of my main deciding factors for watching anime, because one of my favorite anime of all time is still Bebop. And that's mostly because Yoko Kanno is at the music controls.
Yep. One more anime, and then we can talk about next season maybe a little bit.
Right.
I was very surprised by how much I'm liking Girls in Panzer. I'm a big Moe fanboy. I come right out and admit that to everybody. So I really like Moe anime, but if it's I will not watch a Moe anime if it's too stupid. If it just has like no, this is not doing it for me. Like Milky Holmes Moe anime that is just very badly written. The characters are all a bunch of cliches. It's just dumb. I was surprised at how Girls in Panzer surprised me because it turns the whole it bends my concept about what do you want to say? What do I want to say? gender
Gender.
stereotypes. The whole like gender stereotypes about tanks being this masculine thing, and they turn it and
Yeah.
make it a feminine thing, and it's just like that's hilarious. That's awesome, and they never miss a beat to make that joke, and they spin it in all kinds of different ways. And so that I really like that about Girls in Panzer, how it's done that in a different way. And I also really like one of the characters. Dang, I can't remember her name off the top of my head, but she's a sleepy character. The character, she's a driver who always has trouble waking up in the morning, and I'm the same way. I am not a morning person. I hate the mornings.
I know what you mean. I also found myself identifying with that character.
I love her character because, again, if I can self-identify with a character, then that really pulls me into a series. Do you have any connection to Girls in Panzer at all? Have you been watching it, or you're just like not interested?
Oh god, I love Girls in Panzer. I actually enjoy the juxtaposition of they basically take our universe, but instead of, say, it used to, I believe in Japan it used to be learning the naginata used to be the main girls' sport way back when. They basically replaced it with tanks, and I think it's juxtaposition.
Yeah.
And I also identified with the tank driver, because I also have problems getting up in the morning. Oh. And I actually went through that kind of thing in high school. It's like, get up or we're going to fail you. It's like, eh. So, I really enjoy Girls in Panzer as well. And
character's name is Mako.
I also like seeing the different models of tanks. Because...
me too. I'm a little bit of a war buff as well. I understand the machinery, so that also attracts me to the series. It draws me in because I can understand some of what's going on.
Yeah.
That's also good to bring up. The character, the sleepy girl, her name is Mako.
Ah, gotcha.
That always drives me insane when I can't remember the name of a character that I like.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Have you watched Robotics Notes at all?
I watched the first 3 episodes of Robotics Notes, and last season I watched all of Tari Tari. And Tari Tari is about this group of people who all kind of want to do their own thing, and they form a group to like all support each other, and the vice principal is just keeping them down and just like, no, you need to conform, don't be, you need to do something that's going to make you more successful, prepare yourself for life, prepare for your future. And it was just not very well done. It bugged me a lot. Tari Tari it didn't seem real. And going into Robotics Notes, it had a very similar feel. Robotics Notes also had this small school club that was underfunded and wanted to do this big grandiose thing, and the vice principal was just like, you got to prove yourself, and I'm not going to possibly give your team all this money. And then it's about this giant fighting robot that is basically better than a tank, and it's just like, why would high schoolers have a giant fighting robot? This is like a military organization. I can understand if maybe they were in college and they were working under a military contract that they could have this, but this is high school, and it's just like, I am not getting behind this at all. I don't understand this. This is way too far out there. I don't believe it.
Yeah. I was expecting something different from Robotics Notes myself, actually, because it's in the same vein as Psycho Head and one of my favorite anime from a few seasons ago, Steins Gate.
Chaos Head, you mean?
Yes, Chaos Head.
Okay, you said Psycho.
Yeah. Chaos Head and Steins Gate. I thought it would be in that vein, and it sort of is. It has some of the narrative themes that those did, but yeah, I can see what you're saying. I mean, it's kind of out there. Then again, in Steins Gate, the the time cell phone microwave name pending was also kind of out there.
Now, here's the thing for me, though, is if we're going to be talking about next season's anime, I don't really look forward that much. I don't look ahead because, like I said, I am very much in the moment as a anime critic, so I like to focus on what's happening right now. So when the new season starts, I typically just watch everything as it comes, so I don't get too much of I don't spoil myself, and I also don't get a chance to think too much about what a certain series might be, so that I don't judge it. So, did you want to talk about it all right now, or no? I can talk about it. Like, what are you looking forward to that I might recognize?
I was actually just wondering if there was anything you were looking forward to for the next season, but if you haven't really checked it out at all, I was waiting until it actually comes out.
Let's see. There are a couple of anime. Let's see what my plan to watch list. Let me see what we got here. When does this air? Okay, Kizumonogatari has not been decided when it's going to air. Magic Girl Ilya is also not decided when it's going to air. So Double Survivor 2, the animation, doesn't come out until spring 2013. So that is, I'm not sure if that's something that we can talk about. It's not next season, but I absolutely love Double Survivor. I love both Double Survivor games, and I'm really looking forward to the Double Survivor 2 anime.
Yeah.
I like the Persona 4 animation, and and it's done by the same people. Double Survivor 2, the animation is done by basically the same company and people that did Persona 4 the animation. I mean, they're both made by Atlas. The games are, so kind of makes sense.
They're both in the Shin Megumi Tensei series.
Yep.
How did you like the Persona 4 movie?
The series, you mean?
They actually came out with a movie, I believe, didn't they?
I think you're thinking of the Persona 3 movie, and that has not aired yet.
No, it's the Persona 4 anime. It basically animates the True Root from Persona 4.
I think you're thinking that the True Root was just a bonus episode on the DVD and Blu-ray. I don't believe it was a movie.
Huh.
Let me take a look. I have my myanimelist.net open right now. Let's see. Sequel, Persona 4, the animation. No one is alone. Yeah, this is it's just a bonus episode included in the Blu-ray. It was not a movie. This episode adapted the true ending.
I see.
Yeah, that was not a movie. That was just a bonus episode in the Blu-ray DVD.
I see. I haven't seen it yet, but I was wondering what your opinions of it were, because I was planning to watch it pretty soon here, actually. Have you seen it at all?
I've watched all of the animation. Again, I recommend playing the game before watching the anime. There's a lot of references and stuff. I think it adapts it okay, but
I've actually already played Persona 4.
Yeah, so that's good. Definitely play Persona 4 before you watch the anime, I'd say.
Actually, funny story. I just got a Vita for myself for Christmas, and I got Persona 4 the Golden for it. So I'm playing through it again.
Cool.
Yeah, it's pretty fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I haven't been looking forward to anything that's coming up this next season. I really don't know anything that's coming up this next season. Do you want to put anything out there that you think I might be interested in? Do you have any recommendations for me that you've seen so far?
Did you like Spice and Wolf?
Loved both series. Is there a third one coming out?
No, actually, there's an anime coming out called Maoyu Maoyusha. It's basically It's basically like Spice and Wolf. It deals with economics, only it deals with economics in a fantasy world, as opposed to Spice and Wolf take on it where it was basically um, I wouldn't say medieval, but it was the country-based system. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically that. But
I'd say medieval because you got swords and armor and traveling
yeah,
merchants drawn by horse and arguments over the price of pelts. I definitely say that that was medieval.
yeah. Malyusha deals with the same thing, only there's a demon world and there's currently a war going on. So it talks about wartime economics and that kind of thing, and how to
I
achieve.
hope it's nothing like See the Possibility of Money Control because I did not care for that anime.
No, they don't fight over money generally.
Okay.
Um,
They don't fight with money, you mean?
no, they don't fight with money. Um, you should check it out though. I think you'll enjoy it when it comes out.
What's
I
it
believe
called
it's
again?
airing on Malyusha. It's actually airing pretty soon here. It's coming out on January 4th.
Okay. I will put it on my list, but everything's on my list, so.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Going back to the fall season, do you have any particular openings or endings that you really liked?
Yeah, I love the opening and ending for Zetsuno no Tempest, like we already said.
Yeah.
Let's see, what else? Love the opening and ending for Psychopaths.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the first opening for Sword Art Online. Didn't care for any of the endings of the second opening.
I'm the same way, actually. The first opening for Sword Art Online was really good, though. I enjoyed it.
Little Busters is key music, and I love key music, so there's just no debate there about whether or not I'm going to like Little Busters music.
Yeah.
I like the ending theme for Shinsekai Yori. It's got a nice little beat to it.
Yeah.
It feels good for the series. I like the first opening for Total Eclipse. That had a nice rock theme to it. It kind of reminded me of Top Gun. That series also has a very Top Gun feel to it. It's not nearly as well written, but writing's not that good. But I like the opening theme for Total Eclipse. Let's see. Sakura So has some pretty good music in it as well.
Yeah.
That's not my favorite, but I like it. Did not care for Chunibyo's opening or ending themes. They were just there.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I feel kind of the same.
Batum had a great opening theme. That felt really good and strong.
It did.
Didn't care for the ending theme.
Was Batum only 12 episodes, or is there still more coming out?
12 episodes so far. I have not found an announcement for a second season, but based on the ending, I'm assuming there's going to be a second season.
Yeah, that's what I assumed too, because they kind of left everything hanging.
But it wrapped up nicely enough. It was a good stopping point. Let's just say that.
It was a good break point, yeah.
Yeah. I'm watching Jormungand because I liked the first season of Jormungand, but I liked the music in the first season of Jormungand better than the second season, and also liked the first season of Jormungand period better than the second season. Girls in Panzer has some catchy moe themes. I always like it when the music ties in well with the series, and Girls in Panzer definitely fits in well there.
Yeah.
But any thoughts? I mean, I can just say whether or not I like them and describe them, but beyond that, there's not really much else to talk about as far as music go.
Yeah, I was just trying to get your opinion on it.
All right.
Personally, my favorite song for the genre of anime this year is actually the ending for Sakura. It has a really nice upbeat feel to it, I think.
I think I like the opening for Sakura So a lot better.
I also like the opening for Soccer so I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
But no,
Did you have any other recommendations for next season for me, or are we done now?
there's a few things I was looking forward to in the next coming seasons, but one of them is Data Live, but that's not coming out until spring, so that's a long way off. And I'm kind of interested in how they're going to handle the second season of I Don't Have Many Friends.
Oh yeah, Hug and I.
Yeah.
Here's one of my big pet peeves about. I don't want to get all sexist here. So if anybody is listening to this and you're thinking, oh no, Marlon is this guy who wants to tell women what to do. No, women are in charge of their own appearance, and this is just my personal taste in women. I find women with long hair more attractive than women with short hair. So when Yozora got her hair cut at the end of the first season of Haganai, I was all sad and bummed, like, oh man, now she's not as attractive anymore.
Yeah.
And there's a couple of different anime that have done that in the past. Air did that with Mizuzu. Help me out here. Can you think of any other anime where the last episode the character got her hair cut? Elfenlied. Missy got her hair cut at the end of the series.
I don't know about last episode, but it's definitely a theme in anime that when a girl gets her haircut, it's usually an important haircut, meaning she's moving on from something, is how they usually use the trope. So.
Yeah, they did it in Rumbling Hearts.
Yeah.
What else?
I can't really think of any off the top of my head, but it's pretty prevalent in romance anime.
It's a running theme. I am so happy that Shauna never got her hair cut because I love Shauna from Shakugan no Shauna, and she just has to have long hair because when her long hair flares up in that fire pattern, it's just her signature character trait, and it's just like, I will never forgive you if you cut Shauna's hair. That will be absolutely unforgivable. I will hold that against you forever.
Well, that and long twin tails are almost required for tsunderes.
What?
It's a very common
Shauna never had twin tails.
Oh no, I'm thinking of the other tsundere that shares the same voice from Zero no Tsukaima.
Luis also did not have twin tails. I think you're thinking of what's her name? Nagi from Hayate no Gotoku. She had twin tails. She was voiced by Kugumi Arie.
Oh yeah. It's been a while since I saw any of those.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can agree with you there. Shauna would not look the same without long hair.
Yeah. Because of her character design, she has to have long hair because it lights up red like that and glows with all that fire, and it would really ruin her if she got her hair cut.
Yeah.
Anything else? Anything else you watched this season?
No, I'm pretty much good for now. I mean, we hit all the major points, I think. We talked about Soccer Soap and Girls in Panzer and
so our one point of contention was on Little Busters then, huh?
That and Sword Art Online.
I don't know that we would call Sword Art Online a point of contention. I think that we just kind of we disagree on the what do you say, the importance of it. It's about perspective more really than disagreeing. Like I already said, I don't hate Sword Art Online. I watched the whole thing and I enjoyed it, but I didn't think it was just this awesome thing.
Yeah. I think they could have spent more time on the second season, personally.
Yeah. All right then. Thanks for listening, everybody. This has been the Ashita Anime Podcast. I am Marlon, and you are?
And I'm Ian.
All right, thanks for listening, everybody. If you want to get in contact with me and you have a diverging opinion from anything that I have rated on my blog, or if you want to talk about some other kind of general anime theme or just something about Japan, go ahead and get in contact with me. Leave a comment in the blog post or to this video on YouTube. Send me an email. I can be contacted at marlinbetagamer@gmail.com. All one word. MarlinBetagamer@gmail.com. Sorry, it's so long. And thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Thank you.